Good morning. I've entitled our devotions this week, Does It Make Sense? And I think you're kind of going to have to wait and see whether it makes sense or not. But hopefully the question will be answered by the end of the week. I'm basing it all on Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, which says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. You know, that little phrase, your understanding, your own understanding, could be said like this, worldly wisdom or human wisdom, because there are two kinds of wisdom in the world. There's worldly wisdom, and then there is godly wisdom. And God's wisdom is described in James 3. Now, first of all, it says worldly wisdom is described in James 3:15 to 18 in the Amplified. It says, this superficial or worldly wisdom is earthly, unspiritual, and even devilish. For wherever there is jealousy and contention, rivalry and selfish ambition, there will also be confusion, unrest, disharmony, rebellion, and all kinds of evil and vile practices. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure, undefiled, and then it is peace-loving, courteous, considerate, gentle. It's willing to yield to reason. It's full of compassion and good fruits, and it is wholehearted and straightforward, impartial and unfeigned, free from doubts and wavering and insincerity. We don't have to look far in this world to see the worldly wisdom around us, all the contention and the disharmony and everything. But to see the wisdom of God in the world around us is fairly rare these days. Because you see, the ways of the Lord are diametrically opposed to the ways of the world. For example, does it make sense to be pure and peace-loving and submissive when everyone around you is rebellious and demanding their own ways and perverse? Does it make sense to submit to a traffic officer when he's giving you a fine, not to give him a bribe when you can get away with it? Does it make sense to pray for those who are hateful towards you? Do you see what I mean? And I want to just share a story of what happened to Paul and Silas in the book of Acts. They were in a place and they were preaching God's wisdom, because the gospel is God's wisdom. And they were preaching God's wisdom, and the people around them got really mad. You read this in Acts 17, verses 5 and 6, and it says this. But the unbelieving Jews were aroused to jealousy. So they rounded up some bad characters, ruffians and rascals, from the marketplace, and they gathered a huge mob. They set the town in an uproar, and they attacked the house of Jason, seeking to bring Paul and Silas out to the people. When they couldn't find them there, they dragged Jason and some of the brethren before the city authorities, crying, look at these guys, these men who've turned the world upside down, and now they're here doing the same thing here. You see, all they were doing was preaching the gospel and bringing God's wisdom into the situation. But the people around them just went into an uproar. They formed a mob, and they started, maybe they were toying, but they didn't like it. And they accused Paul and Silas and the people in that house of turning the world upside down. Are we going to trust in the Lord with all our hearts, not lean on our own understanding and turn the world upside down? We can, because we are highly favored and deeply loved.